Sure.
Yeah, I just started to record.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Certification Brigade Technical Committee meeting. It's I think it's meeting number 5 at this point. Just a little background. We had a meeting with the Asian members at a more reasonable time for them. And that's why we had the interest and the commitment to start working on the OLT as well. Looking at the list of the attendees for today, I don't see anybody, or maybe there is, but as far as I know anyway, that would be contributing into the OLT. So the main point of the agenda, well, one of the items in the agenda today was for to plan some activities with the OLT, but if there are no participants today, we'll do an Asian meetings with EdgeCore and who else in Asia wants to contribute into that, and we'll take the actions there.
Okay, Claudia, just to add one more point regarding the OLT certification, looks like there was a request from EdgeCore about verifying OLT. And when I get an email from them, or when I get the right person's contact from EdgeCore, I will copy you guys as well, so we can start a session with EdgeCore. And I'm hoping that if EdgeCore can lead that activity, that will be great.
Exactly. So last time we had Jason, and you see here, I don't know if you see my screen, yes. Jason was the one. And so maybe it's the same person.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So, I mean, one of the developer had asked me about the OLT certification, and I requested them to forward their email to me. Once I get it, I will let you know.
Okay, perfect. Okay, but we'll take care. And I think we'll have a meeting with Asian guys, Asian members soon, so we can take this up definitely.
Okay.
Okay, so this was about OLT. I don't think we can talk much about that anymore today. Current activities. So Sriju has been sending a couple of emails with some information and also asking for review. He's been working on the document for the switch verification. Sriju, do you want to give an update and what we need members to help with? We lost Sriju.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
So yeah, the current switch verification document actually it needed a lot of changes because it has not been edited for the last 8 months or something. So this is the document which Luca and Charles prepared based upon code 5.0. So there are a lot of changes which came, code evolved into SEBA, and so there were a lot of changes. There were changes in the fabric, how the fabric design and everything. So it needed a lot of restructuring and everything. So I made all of them, which I feel is good for the current state of SEBA. And I also added a few cases for the ONOS integration test cases and everything. So I added it as a suggestion box. So the request to the Brigade community is to review it, and so that we can make changes and stuff like that. And another thing is initially I had an idea about having a single switch verification document, a master switch document verification document, and then we will have subsections for different certification domains like SEBA or ODTN or MCODE or anything in the future. But that made it actually very complex, and finally I decided like having one document per certification domain is much neater and better to handle. Also, when if any of our clients are interested in getting certified against SEBA, we don't want to give them a huge document containing everything. So I thought that made sense, and that's how the document is structured right now. If so, please, do you want me to go through it? Do you have time to have a quick look right now, or you can review it offline?
Actually, Sriju, maybe it would be a good idea, just a high-level quick walkthrough. So if I know there is also Chris here, which has from UNH IOL, and which has experience in this stuff as well. So it would be good.
Yeah. So let me try to share my screen. Okay. Someone has to approve.
Sushita, do you need to approve?
Yeah. Let me make Sriju the presenter. And then I think we need to transfer back.
Sure.
Yes, we can see your screen, Sriju.
All right. Okay.
Oh, no. Sorry, not yet.
Yeah.
You need to share.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. I mean, the first and foremost change is like I changed the name of the document to Switch Verification SEBA, because having a single document with all the different certification domains, which we will have in the future in a single document, will be very confusing for anyone to read. Right. So let me go through the main sections. So I made a lot of, throughout the document I made edits. So, so it's, yeah. So the test actually takes you through a flow like this. It is exactly what Luca and Charles had, but I changed the contents of it. So the first step will be doing a basic architecture, whether the network operating system can be loaded and stuff like that. And in each of the test case, I have explicitly mentioned a pass criteria. Like to pass this section, the device should have ONE supported or ONE installed, and then to be compatible with the ONL. The switch should be listed under the Open Network Linux. So there are few test cases, and each of the switch should be certified against that. And of course, at the ACL, they are successfully able to install the ONL. And also, each of the, based upon the chipset used, it requires specific drivers in ONOS. So we should make sure that there are stable drivers for the chipset which is used in the switch. So like that, step by step, I have given more clarity on what actually is the pass criteria. And for certain sections like this, there is no need, I feel like, for having a detailed test plan, because there is not much combination to be done, like what we do for open flow test or the ONOS test, stuff like that. Then the second section is the driver, like the OFTPA driver, or which glues the ONOS or open flow to the actual hardware chipset. And third is the switch flow test, so which is I renamed it to from hardware conformance test, even though under the Trellis program it's still called the hardware conformance test. I thought that name is a little confusing, so I changed it to switch flow test, but it will be referring to the hardware conformance test cases which we already have. So this is the section which we mentioned in the previous meeting, that I did an analysis of what can be reused and what open flow test cases are missing. So this is a link to that document. So once that document is reviewed and completed, so those are the list of test cases which we will be executing. And not all of them, like I mentioned in the previous meeting, only those cases which has a label SEBA associated with it will be executed. only those cases are valid for SEBA. So again, like in every section, there's a pass criteria which says all of these cases should pass. And then we have we proceed into the controller integration test. I did not specifically want to mention ONOS like ONOS integration test, because in the future there we might be supporting other SDN controllers. So I just wanted us to make it as generic as possible. And so this earlier we had actually a really nice test case which had this leaf spine fabric. So right now in SEBA we no more need the leaf spine fabric, because it's all one single fabric switch per abstract OLT. So unless we are planning to have more than one abstract OLT, there is no need of any more than one switch as per SEBA. So this might change in the future, and that will definitely require a revisit to these test cases. So all the existing cases which is based upon the code 5.0 I have removed, and I added a new section, and it is simply does a fabric cross connect test. So I mean it's like you make one ONOS cluster, you point the fabric switch to the ONOS, and you enable these apps, including the XConnect app, which comes which you can enable on ONOS and directly go into the ONOS CLI, and you create a fabric cross connect, and then you will have two hosts connected to these ports, and you send traffic and verify. So this just makes sure that your switch can successfully talk to ONOS, it can understand, and the driver associated. Right now we support only Broadcom, so it's the OFTP-A3 driver, it can successfully translate the open flow flows into corresponding table entries into Broadcom. So no serious testing, just to make sure that the controller and the switch is able to talk properly, and we verify this with traffic. Then we go into the operational test cases. So this is the section where we validate the things the switch can, the operational test case scenarios which the switch can come across in the field. So it can be as simple as rebooting the switch, and then make sure after the switch is up, the flows are configured back, and maybe flapping the interfaces. And since we are supporting lag even on a classical switching environment, lag can create a lot of problems when you move members out and in, out of lag, if you support load balancing and all those things. So everything comes under the operational test cases, including the negative cases. So again, we have in the spreadsheet, I have a few of the initial operational test cases which I thought of. So we have given the link here. So once again, when the review is completed, it should be good. And finally, we will have the SEBA port test. So this is like the actual workflow test, which is something similar to what Sujitra and team is running for regression, where the complete pod, including the AT&T workflow or any workflows in the future, will be tested. And the only difference is the fabric switch will be the switch under test. So we'll make sure that all the test cases which are developed under SEBA port test can be run successfully with the switch as the fabric switch. And right now, we have test cases on the code guide which Sujitra and team developed, but we need to convert it into more specific brigade specific test plan. So I had a few months back, I had like my idea about how we should document it, and then I have given the link here. So this is, I think that this is the best way to capture all these cases. So, and so again, there's a pass criteria. And once all these test cases are done, we can consider the switch is SEBA certified or something like that. So there are a lot of details in this which I removed, especially in code 5.0. we used the mass services to automatically load the ONL and the related drivers onto the switch. So those things are left to the user now. I had to remove I didn't remove, I just marked it as for delete. So all those sections which are no more valid for SEBA, I have marked, added a comment, we can delete it, and I give an explanation of what the changes I have made. Yeah, so that's it about this document from my side.
Thank
Okay.
you. I have a question.
Questions?
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you go to the milestone section that you had put there?
Yeah, actually, I was not a huge fan of the milestone, so I think I marked it for deletion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I marked it for deletion.
milestone 2,
Yeah.
3, and oh, okay. You wanted to do.
I gave an explanation like why we don't. It looks good like milestone 2, but I thought we don't need that much. It creates some confusions. Let's say there is only one milestone: get the switch certified.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And then the work towards switch for certification can can have milestones instead.
I'm sorry.
No, the work towards the one switch certification can have milestones. Let's say the entire switch certification, developing the test plan, verifying it, and the creating test cases, execution, and verifying the status. Those can have various milestones instead.
Yes. I think Lodi has a plan to discuss that today
Okay.
on the time activities and everything.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah. So if you, yeah, also please note that you won't be able to see this unless you are in suggesting or editing mode, like not in the viewing mode.
Hi, Srijan. This is Michael from Delta.
Yeah.
We have a quick question. The
Yes.
first one for the ONL. We know ONL PD. Do you also need to test the ONL PD? Because we know ONL PD and the API have a V1 and V2 version. So
You mean
in the ONL?
you mean the test case, the ONL certification?
Yes. And
all right.
there's a two version API. One is the V1 and V2 for ONL PD.
Oh, I see.
So I'm not sure because they're quite different. And which one will be a final version?
Yes, I don't. Sujitra, do you have an answer for that? I just, I'm not sure. I mean, what? Maybe we need to check with Luca.
Yeah, ONL version. Sorry, are you talking the ONL version for the OLT or just the switch itself?
For get.
Sorry.
They have a two branch.
For the switch, right? Sorry, your voice is breaking. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, for ONL PD, ONL, there's a two API. One's a V1 and a V2.
Okay. Yeah. Not at this time. I don't think we have that versions mentioned. I think that's a good point. We can clarify that and then put it in the document as well.
Because I heard some vendors are going to adopt the V2 API, and they will ignore the V1, and for the certification, that will become it's not the. Let's say, for example, you pass the V1, but later they're going to use the V2, then that's a problem. You don't have a very clear criteria.
Yes.
And second part is we saw on the GitHub only for the post core tester on the GitHub. There's several tester scripts, and if the tester script is cover those test plan or they are independent from your test plan.
Are you talking?
Vendor on the GitHub, you see the ONF, there's a core wiki. There's some system test scripts.
Mm-hmm.
You have a core setup, right?
Yes.
And your core setup, and there was some. I remember there's one core tester
Mm-hmm.
on GitHub. Those tester script already exist, and do they already cover this test case and
No.
this?
Yeah.
Or they are
Yeah, they are different. I'm sorry, they are different. They are as part of the software testing, the SEBA itself.
right.
Yeah, so these are
So,
not the one which Shriju just covered about the test cases on the Fabric. There are few tests scripts as part of Fabric, but not everything. Whatever Shriju just mentioned.
okay. So should we? Is it possible we can have integrated versions? For example, in your test plan, you also have existing test case. It's an imprint on posted on the GitHub, so vendor can easily to take those test cases. First of all, they can verify by themselves.
Okay, so you are asking us to add the versions. That is what you are saying, right?
Not just a version, and you have you post those test script on the GitHub. They also match your test plan, so the vendor they can easily to get those test script, verify their testers, their switches. Then once they feel comfortable, then can send it to the certification lab, then do those testing. Otherwise, at the beginning, they have no idea how to test it.
Yes, yeah,
Just
yeah.
watch the test plan. That's a problem.
Yes, I understand. For software, software testing we do have. For Fabric as well, we have, but I think we have to make it clear, like what you have mentioned. We will change the some of the test cases to point to exactly what from the test plan it is, which one it is, the correlation between them.
Yeah, if you have a existing whole GitHub directory mapping to your test cases, that will be much easier for vendors and can get it certified.
Okay, I understand.
The product.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. This is, I mean, the request is pretty straightforward. So to have the test cases and the test plan on GitHub, so everybody can, the vendors can access and try before coming to certification. So does ONF has it done it before to put this stuff on GitHub or?
On GitHub, some of them we do have the test, but as I mentioned, because we had been using that internally and there were no users of those wiki pages, right? We have documented all these as part of wiki pages, but now since vendors and certification brigade has to also go ahead and use them, we can go ahead and update these pages to point and make more clear statements.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. We can take it as an action.
Yeah, let's have it. I'll put it in the notes as an action point to find out how to do it.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
That was a good question, Michael. Any other question?
Yeah, this is Tim from the IOL. My question is kind of a little bit more big picture. I get this as a starting document. Are we going to create one document with all the test cases? Because I get right now, just for review purposes, we have a couple that are, go to this spreadsheet for the SEBA ones, go to this spreadsheet for the chord-specific switch test cases. I assume that we're going to make one document that lists all of the test cases?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just pointing out to the spreadsheet which was linked in the other document. So something like this, and this will be, the current idea is to have a single test case, and using labels, you can say that this test case is valid for different profiles or based upon the technology or anything like that.
Okay, and then we're going to take that at the end and make a master document? And that's my question is, what are we going to put out for people to be able to look at to know what they're testing?
All right, so the question is more like, say, if a client is interested only in testing SEBA, so
Yep.
Do we make a master document out of this spreadsheet which has all this, with the test cases which has a SEBA label associated with it, and pass it to him? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we're going to need to put out some kind of document that shows, what test cases we have. That, this is fine for development. I'm just making sure that our final product is going to be some sort of document that clearly says these are the test cases you have to perform, depending on the certification you're doing. I like where this is headed. I think this is an important step in getting there. I just want to understand what the end goal is.
Yeah, when I designed this, you decided to use the spreadsheet. The idea was, using the spreadsheet is easy to develop it. And in the last meeting also, there was a comment like it will be good to have a PDF or something similar to the existing open flow conformance test format.
Yeah, I mean, when we did it, that's exactly how we basically just wrote a script that took the Excel spreadsheet and put it into a document type form. We can do that again. That's fine.
Yeah. So that was one of the suggestions. Though if there are other suggestions, we can choose what is best for us. And so the use of spreadsheet is to make it easy for the development purpose.
Right. The thing, aren't there a couple of different spreadsheets in here though? That's what kind of threw me off. You have the operational test plans.
Right now I have everything under this one. I just mentioned that the tab is different.
Oh, okay, I see. I got it. Yeah. They have different, it's the same spreadsheet, but they have different worksheets. I got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So again, in the future, once everything is formalized, how to document it, we are open. We can see what is the best way to make a formal document, maybe just specific to SEBA or specific to SEBA ATT or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that can be done. It's good to be clear. Thank you, Tim. Any other question on this one? Okay, no, seems no. So I think the next thing would be really, because now the Sergio has been circulating the document and the reviews for quite some time, and of course there was the holiday period in between, so time was limited. But we need to set a kind of date to move forward, and if with the comments. And I don't know what you guys think. My major concern is that if we keep these two dormant way too long, things fall asleep and nobody does anything anymore, and we lose the memory of what we have done so far. So I think we should set a date for the comment to come for this, and after that, whatever is in, and there is no more space for comments. It's pretty much in line with the reference design comments, really. I mean, it's at one point we need to move forward and act on what we have. So from the people who is here, and I'll check also with the rest of the community, we'll send an email and Slack and to everybody. The initial idea was to have something by April, even before if possible, so to conclude at least for the switch. What do you guys think? Do you think it's doable? Do you guys have time to review and comment? How do you see this?
Chris and I can take to reviewing definitely some of the technical test cases. I think you're going to have to send out, these are the test cases and here's the format of all of them before we can do that. And we should definitely be heading towards that.
Okay.
I think will help with the technical content of reviewing some of the procedures. Has anyone implemented all of the procedures yet? Or are these still theoretical in some test cases?
Yeah, a few of the test cases are already there, because if you see this tab, the reusability analysis, so these are existing test cases as part of the OF test framework. So I just did an analysis of what makes sense to SEBA. So those cases are already there, and the remaining are new test cases. Which
okay,
is
I mean,
not
right. For process's sake, obviously we should put out a document so that people can review it and see it in a concise format, and then we should start trying to implement the ones we haven't. Obviously, you know, I'm sure when we go to implement it, there might be certain steps or parts that we edit based on that implementation. So I think as a process that works fine. We can have a document out that's open for public review that we're going to update as we get all of these test cases implemented.
Yes.
Okay, we also need some contribution in, I mean, these are a set, and if there is more, somebody can and should obviously add.
Right.
And not sure who can do that, but if there are volunteers, of course, that's the idea of the brigade. So in general, what do you think about the April or late March? Actually, would be a bit better time frame to have this consolidated. Do you see any problem with that?
No, it seems like we have a good start here. It's going to take us a while to edit the document, but I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
I mean, that's from when we have something out there, not, you know, I suspect we're going to put out a version, and depending on how many comments, that at that point we'll know how long it's going to take for the final copy. But okay. I think we should be aiming for March.
Sounds good. Yeah, I agree.
Also, like, even though we don't go into much details into the procedure section, at least if we can, I mean, the coverage is more important. The procedure, of course, as you told, like when you really do it, the procedure might change a little bit.
Yeah. Right. I suspect that's where a lot of our changes are going to be happening.
Yeah. But at least from the coverage point of view, I think we can do a review even before doing that. Before actually doing it. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we'll aim to March. We'll send the information to everybody for the participation and contribution, and we at least we have a deadline of some sort, which is good. I don't think there is much more. I mean, this is really the main objective for now. Let's get the switch certification out as soon as possible, and in parallel have the OLT move with that certification. Any other things that you see we need to discuss today? Tim, one question from my side actually. When do you think you can do the steering committee? For the ACLs, you know, we have I don't know if you saw the list. We have a number of candidates already for the labs, and I guess we need to give some information.
Yeah, I was gonna work on that this week, is setting up a time and getting everybody on the list. I also have to go clean up all those procedure docs. They have some they need some cleaning up. I'm going to work on that this week. So I suspect next week we're going to have a call. Maybe we'll say this time didn't seem to work. We didn't get a huge group of people, so I'm going to try to pick a time that works for both sides.
Yeah, it's hard to have everybody. Depends. From Asia, there were quite a few that have committed to participate. So
what time did you do that one?
That we did. What time was it, Srijo? 7 p.m. No, 8 p.m. Eastern.
It was 6 p.m. here, right? 6:15.
Yeah, then was 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 and 10 between that time.
Okay.
Yeah, that was because we had Korea, Taiwan, India. We had,
Yeah.
It was a bit long.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll have to do 2 as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, please do so. We can move on that. Anything else? Anybody?
Team, if you need any support with the ACL document, let me know.
Yeah, I'm going to go through it, and I think we'll be fine. I'll do most of it on the list. I'll send out I know you did some work on it. I got to go back and read that, and I'll send out a first cut of that.
Okay, got it.
All right. Okay, I think that is it then. Thank you everybody for today. I'll send some minutes out, and we'll start working on the final deadline for the switch. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye now.
Yes.